Good evening, everyone. It is 8:02 p.m. Eastern Time, Tuesday, January 8th, 2019. And welcome to Uncle Benny's Creepy Campfire Stories. I am Uncle Benny, and this is a creepy campfire story for you. So, this is my first one, my first installment, and it's going to be kind of lo-fi, low um, production quality. That may or may not improve over time. We'll see how that goes. But it also, by the way, was not the original topic I've kind of had in mind to start off with. But I saw something today, and I'm like, I kind of need to talk about this. And I'm like, no, yeah, it's not what I really wanted to start with. But then I'm happened to hear on the radio a song by Taylor Swift. Now I know what she looks like. I know what she does. I know what she is kind of about. Um, if she is a she, but at any rate, I realize this is what teenagers are listening to today, and we're in big trouble because I'm going to show you some things tonight how it's all related and how um how Taylor Swift relates to this is kind of a no brainer to me. But if you think back 5, 10 years ago, how the music was and the junk that the 20 somethings now were feeding on when they were teenagers, and the masses of them that are just, well, they're like this gal Alexandria Ocasio Cortez occasional cortex. Well, I'm making a little joke there, which you've probably seen or heard before, and this is something I wanted to talk about. I titled this video "Dangerous or Dumb: The Art of Misdirection." First, I want to start off with I just typed in Casio dumb, and things come up. One thing I've noticed is that she makes great sound bites of looking like an idiot, and I think she probably knows it. And does it mean she's really stupid? I don't know. All the world's a stage, and I don't know her. Um, these people are actors generally, and anyway, let's just read a few of these titles. I mean, just how it comes up. And I'm going to tell you what this means. Ocasio-Cortez's brain is as empty as the promises of unfettered statism. Kennedy, that's the gal who used to be on MTV. She's on Fox Business. Um, let's see. Tommy Lahren. I love seeing Ocasio-Cortez. See, I do it, and I didn't even mean to, and I'm not trying to make fun of her. It's just kind of a difficult name. Ocasio-Cortez on TV. Now, she's being obviously a little facetious. She loves seeing her on TV in a snarky way because she, quote unquote, makes a fool of herself, right? Um, Democrat Ocasio-Cortez fails to explain. A little more, plain Jane title, but just pointing out her failures, dismissing her, very dismissive, right? Every time Ocasio-Cortez got it wrong. So I'm sure they had a good laugh here. I haven't watched it. This is every gaffe of the youngest elected congresswoman has ever made. Well, she's been in office all of like 48 hours or something, you know. She's was interviewed a lot. She's been interviewed a lot, and she's featured a lot. She's wildly popular. She's a person that a lot of people love to hate. Let's put it that way. Okay. Shapiro sounds off. Let's see here. Here we go. Diamond and Silk. I haven't watched them in ages. They're kind of entertaining, but is Ocasio-Cortez smarter than a fifth grader? All right, so they're having fun with it too. We could go on. I just, these are the search terms I used. She fumbles through questions on Israel and Palestine. Anyway, the thing that I'm pointing out is that she's being laughed at as a joke. She's dumb. She's not very smart. She doesn't have her facts straight. She talks about paying for things, raising taxes, and all these kinds of things, and has no idea where the money's really coming from. All these kinds of things, and it's laughable. Well, I think these people are making a big mistake. It's not so funny. And what I also want to point out is that the fact that Fox News pundits and things are, they're leading that rallying cry. Let's make fun of her. She's a big laugh. She's a joke, and we can she's a byline, and all these kinds of things. That is the art of misdirection. This woman, the reason she's very important, even her stupidity is important. Her apparent ostensible stupidity, apparent stupidity. Sometimes people play dumb. So the reason that's important is because she's representative. She's 28 years old, I guess. Representative of a lot of people in that generation. So I'm going to play some things.
You know, she's so cute. And people keep writing to me and telling me what a sexist I am because I keep pointing out the fact that she's a very attractive young woman.
Okay, that's another thing I want to talk about. She has a striking look. She looks vivacious. She's got big white teeth, and she's got flashy eyes that are, they're very vibrant, and dark hair. She dresses to the nines and things like this. So she's photogenic. That's the word I'm looking for. Another thing that they pay attention for, which in and of itself is the art of misdirection. So she is out there in the forefront. And if you think she just organically came out of the woodwork, you're very naive. You need to realize that she's being used by somebody. I don't know exactly who. I do in the end. I know in the abstracts, but I don't know who her quote unquote handlers might be, and things like that. But she is not just coming out of left field with a enthusiasm for politics and just a sense of social justice. And she's coming out and she's going to take the world by storm and make everything right in the world again. And you're going to pay for it. The rich are, by the way. No, it's not as simple as that. Let's keep going. I don't know how much this will watch. The video itself is 3 minutes, 48 seconds. And he has some nice things to say. Interesting things to say, I should say. But let's go on.
And I know right-wingers think that everything goes the way they like it, so if they don't like her, what she stands for, they think she's unattractive, but she's not. She's a very pretty girl. And it may be sexist, but here's the thing. Women and men have different strengths and different weaknesses, different powers, and different vulnerabilities. Who can deny that a pretty young woman has a sense of confidence and entitlement that other people don't have, including women who are not as pretty, and certainly including men? Whoever turns to a beautiful young woman and says, you know what, you're kind of an idiot. Nobody does that. Maybe other women, but no men does it.
Well, I'm going to stop this right here because I noticed in the playback, I have not worked out all the tech on this particular format of playing a video. So I don't know if the audio is coming through well or not until I replay this. And at the risk of losing everyone with kind of a long and boring and unscripted video, I'm going to stop it right here on this one. I may or may not play further videos that I'd lined up because I had some things to riff and say about that. But, the takeaway here that needs to happen is that, she's all the memes being created about her. I should have pulled up some of those. That'd be kind of funny. There's a lot of funny memes. She's being laughed at, but there's a bigger thing to consider, to realize. And I'm going to X out of this guy here until I figure out, if I'm going to be able to play videos and the sound's going to come through good quality on the back end. And the video I'm seeing over here looks a little choppy, but it doesn't mean it's being translated out in the recording. I'll find out. Let me move on. So this is Tucker Carlson. He is apparently, he's a guy who many people like, who even don't like Fox News, because he seems to kind of hint at the truth. He gets sort of to the edge. He's sort of edgy. He really presses people, and he does in this case. What I want to point out about this is April 18, 2017. So this is nearly 2 years ago, a little over a year and a half ago. And Tucker Carlson is interviewing a professor who wants an 80% tax rate. Now, we just heard a couple days ago, or in this previous video, okay? Well, I don't think he got to that part yet. But you may have heard already. She is calling for 70% tax on the rich, the 1%, 70%. A couple years ago, this socialist professor wants an 80% tax rate. I really wish I could play this. This is kind of a short video, but it's very interesting, and I had a lot of comments to make along the way of this gal right here. Let me move on. I guess if this video doesn't come out very good, that's just the way it is. So we'll just keep trucking. Let's just see her introduced.
Most people hate tax day, but Caroline Heldman is a big fan. It's hard to find her, but we did. She's a political science professor at Occidental College out in California, and she loves tax day so much she wants to expand it bigly. call for upping the top tax bracket in America.
Okay, so I'm gonna, again, sake of time, and because I'm not confident in the video quality here, I'm gonna first off start by saying, at least this one's a woman. Okay, that may have taken a left turn on you, a left hook, but the fact is this one has all the features of a woman. Now, Alex Ocasio-Cortez, not so certain about that. You can do further investigation on that if you want, but there are some transgender, transvestite investigations. Now, you might have seen her dance video from college that came out recently. You know, she's what, 28 years old, so that's potentially anywhere from 10 to 16 years. Let's say, 10 to 6 years old. I don't know when that video was made, and neither do you. Okay, that may have been to get on top of the transvestigation story that are coming out about her, her, him, it, whatever. Okay, but this is something that may be brand new to you. I would seriously recommend taking some time, and as ludicrous and crazy as you might think, look into it, because it's very real possibility, and she definitely is suspect. Let me put it that way. This one, not so much. It's pretty, my money, odds are this is a real woman. Now, she's a socialist professor. She's got strong ideas. She's, well, I should take the socialist. That could have been a thing. She's probably admitted socialist. I didn't do any homework on her, but she's a professor at Occidental University. She's very attractive. You would think that she would be someone who would be able to get in the public eye and move on up, charismatic and things like this. Well, why wasn't she selected to get out there and start pushing the agendas that Alex is pushing? Okay, I've got another thing about that. Another thing lined up to talk about that, where I believe in 2015. I'll get to this in a second. Some of you might remember this video. I do remember it. I can't believe it's been 4 years, just about 3.5. Let me just pull up her image. This gal right here. This interview is extremely uncomfortable to watch. She is just a, at first it's uncomfortable to watch several years ago because you feel like, what an idiot, what a fool. She's going to regret this till the day she dies. But in retrospect, you look back at this video and this woman, young lady, and I would call her a trial balloon, testing the public. She's someone that's out there saying the exact same kind of things that this professor is about 2 years ago, and that Alex Cortez is now. Okay. So, they're testing the public. It's test marketing. We've all been subject to test marketing. There's certain things released in certain areas to see what the public's response is, what modifications need to be made, so on and so forth. So, this woman, I'm going to summarize this video. I got ahead of myself here. This woman goes on to, she pays about 30% in taxes at that time, she says, and she wants the rich to pay 80% tax rate. Only the most wealthy, the 1%. And Carlson has a heck of a time with her, and because she's very intelligent in her comebacks and everything. However, he has her on the ropes, and at the very end, he ends the interview just almost in hysterics, because he's got her cornered. She doesn't have an answer. None of these people have answers for this. It doesn't make any sense, and there's a larger point to be made as well. But Tucker pretty much challenges her to write the government a check for the other 40% that she doesn't pay, that she wants others to pay. Okay, and that's the same story that these people are all pushing. And now we had Bernie Sanders, a Jew, a communist, a Marxist, running for president. And had he not been either, I don't know if he got totally shafted by Clinton. I don't remember, really followed that much, or whatever. I mean, if he ever had a chance, I don't know. But I look at him as a trial bull. He was a test marketer to see where is the public. Well, so now these young people, they've been conditioned, brainwashed, groomed to start believing this nonsense, and they start organizing. Now we have numbers. Now we have a census of the people that are out there that are growing communists. I can't tell you the number of groups I belong to on social media where young people, especially hippie types and liberals, they're Bernie fans. Well, basically, they're saying they're communists. It's not who we are as a nation. In fact, regardless of whether there are communist nations, and it's a political system. It doesn't work, but it's a political system. And if that's what people are going to live under, that's great. But that's not who we are, and that's not my larger point either. This is not necessarily a political video. This isn't necessarily a political pushing for conservative values or capitalism or anything like that. That's not why I'm talking about this. What I want to point out. Should have done this earlier. Just one second. I need to create a notepad. Just a moment. Yeah, little unorganized again. Low production value. So, okay. Well, I don't know what value this was, other than I can read it. This is not very big. Let me see if I can make the text bigger. Yeah, I can. I know I can. So I'm going to get to do it. Okay. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. This is from Proverbs chapter 1, verse 10 through 19. If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood. Let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause. Let us swallow them up alive as the grave, and whole as those that go down into the pit. We shall find all precious substance. We shall fill our houses with spoil. Cast in thy lot among us. Here's the kicker. Let us all have one purse. Think about that. Let us all have one purse. You share a purse with anyone? You share your wallet with anyone? I bet you do. You have insurance? Have health insurance? You have made yourself of one purse with someone. Guess what else is of one purse? When people like this and Alex Cortez, and the gal, this young lady here, they want you to pay for everything. They want you to pay for their vision of the world at the point of a gun. They want us to all be of one purse, and they've got their hand in your bank account. It's really just that simple. And the larger point of this is, and again, Fox News, all Christians, conservatives, they watch Fox News. They don't watch CNN, that bad CNN, they watch Fox News. Well, they're all bad. Okay. You're never going to hear Neil Cavuto, or you don't even have to be a Christian or Jewish person, which that's not going to happen. But you don't have to be a Christian to say that this is stealing. Let us all have one purse. Okay. But they don't point that out. This again goes to the art of misdirection. They're never going to bring this up. There's not a journalist who would say something like this that would ever be on air again. And I don't think so. At least in any mainstream kind of way. If they ever brought this up, that the Bible says this, and you're pushing this. Cast in your lot among us. Let us all have one purse. Spirit of wisdom says, my son or daughter, walk not thou in the way with them. Refrain thy foot from their path. Don't go into business with them. Don't walk with them at all. Okay? For their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed blood. Well, is Alex out to kill people? Let me tell you, those policies end up in bloodshed. We've got recent history. Look back the last 100 years, even in your lifetime, where this kind of policy, where the government, who is they've nationalized all the industries, and they are taking your they've seized the means of production. They're taking people's the results of their labor. They take it for themselves. It's not redistributed equitably. The power becomes a drug. The money becomes a drug. The corruption's rampant, and the people rise up. The government cracks down because they're at the direction. The statists, the police, the military. They're by and large are statists. They call them patriots. By and large, statists will take directions from whoever, even if it comes down to killing their family, killing their neighbor. And yeah, you might be sitting there saying, oh, I know police, they would never do that. Okay. Keeps happening. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird, and they lay wait for their own blood. They lurk privily for their own lives. See, this will end in their own destruction. Okay. So are the ways of everyone that is greedy of gain, which takes away the life of the owners thereof. Now, this is an important point, and this whole video, this creepy campfire story, better be creepy. If you're not creeped out by all of this, then there's something wrong with you. So are the ways of everyone that is greedy of gain. Okay. That means that this young lady, this professor, this guy, girl, whatever, are greedy of gain. They're the greedy ones. They're the ones telling the rich they're greedy. Hey, man, I'm all right, Jack. Keep your hands off my stack. That's stealing. Taxation is theft. It's really just that simple. So let's move on. I really wish I think I will try to play some of this. This girl, students protesting nationwide. This is, remember, 3.5 years ago, for free college and debt forgiveness. Okay. We already have a lot of elements of communism and socialism in our midst, in our system, but there's always room for more, and that's what they want. Okay. So this gal, Keely Mullins, she organized a 1 million student march nationally protesting for free college and debt forgiveness. Listen to how brilliant she is.
I'm not sure if you're talking on like a national level or at particular schools.
Now, let me back up just a sec.
A cancellation of student system of education as opposed to the really corporate model that we have right now. So the 3 core demands of the National Day of Action are free public college, a cancellation of student debt, and a $15 an hour minimum wage for people who work on the campus.
And how's that going to be paid?
How's that going to be paid? Deer in the headlights. She does have a couple answers. I guess she didn't expect such a direct answer. But watch her squirm, watch her struggle. It's not even pleasurable. It's just disgusting. It's the thing is, she's the leader of a bunch of lemmings that are far more rabid than her, and probably less probably have their thoughts less together. Dangerous.
Great question. I mean, so I'm not sure if you're talking on like a national level or at particular schools. I can sort of touch on both. At
Well,
my
if you wanted all of that
university,
stuff, someone asked to pick up the tab. Who would that be?
The 1% of people in society that are hoarding the wealth and really sort of causing a catastrophe that students are facing. I mean, we have a relationship right now where 1% of the population owns more wealth than the 99% combined.
All right, so if the 1%,
relationship,
Keely, if the 1% just had their taxes raised a few years ago, back to almost 40%, then to pay for the healthcare law, they had them raised another few percentage points. Then they have their deductions limited to raise another couple points, where depending on the state of locality, they're pushing over.
All right. Well, I'm not confident the audio is coming through in the video, and that's going to be torturous to watch. So I'm stopping this right here. Another thing I wanted to mention, she mentioned the top 1% hoarding all the wealth. This gal here as well is talking about the top 1%. She didn't call them hoarders. I don't believe she did, but she espoused her own quote unquote righteousness and charity, that she spreads her wealth around. The other 40% of the 30% the 100% of her income, 30% she's taxed on. The other 40% where she would pay 70 or 80%, she spreads it around through tipping waiters and waitresses and giving to Planned Parenthood and such like. Okay, so she's sort of saying that she's generous and does pay that. If she was the top 1%, she would love to pay that much. And right now, since she doesn't have to through her taxes, she does it through her private giving. And Tucker, he nails her on that pretty heavily and says, well, look, here's the address in Washington, D.C. You can write him a check, if you want to do that. But she kind of screwed up, and she realized, that she was basically indicating that she'd rather give it personally because she can control where it goes versus it being not spent wisely in Washington and that kind of through the US.gov. And it was kind of funny. As talented that she was, he kind of had her on the ropes the whole time. And this gal, their view of y'all remember a couple years ago the protests on Wall Street, and the people camped out, and there were the 98% or something like that. I forgot the name of the movement or whatever. They were the 98%. Well, the 2%, the Wall Street people, they've got them pegged as evil people. Americans tend to be some of the most generous people around. We're also very, very much taxed everywhere you turn. Okay. If you add up how much you're taxed all the time, you'd be astounded if you ever thought about it. Sales tax, excise tax, you name it, property tax. Just make a list of it, and you'll be, and add it to what you pay in income tax, and you'll be astounded that we're paying, most Americans have to work until May to just meet their government bill. You got state taxes, local taxes, government taxes, sales taxes, income. I just kind of mentioned that income, excise taxes, property taxes, license taxes, you name it. So, excuse me, it's a little late for me. So, and I didn't script this video or anything or even make notes. It's sort of just a test run on putting this out there and getting a flow going. But so let's move on over here to. I really wanted to get to this. Well, I may end up ending the video here. This has been gone kind of long. I had a video. It's kind of gone now of these people, the students. Well, I think it's actually in this video. There's just students milling right here. Here we go. All these students, they're like Bernie supporters. They're protesting. They're demanding that the rich people pay their college, forgive all their debts. Basically, this is the entitlement generation. Okay. Now, why is this dangerous? Again, things are not being called what they are. Right now, as this girl gets traction, this gal, she gets traction, she gets followers, she gets imitators, she gets more connected, and she's got a toehold, and pretty soon it's a foothold, then it's a stronghold, right? So this is a little bit of a new precedent. This is like Bernie Sanders being in Congress in a sense, okay? And she's youthful, she's charismatic. It's dangerous, okay? She's not to be laughed at just because she seems like she's dumber than a box of rocks. Well, guess what? That's also dangerous from the standpoint if she is stupid, she's at least smart enough to get to where she's gotten to. And if she that dumb, she can be easily manipulated as she's trying to get her tentacles into advance her personal power, personal status, or who knows what motivates her in her heart except the Lord. Okay, but right now she wants to climb on the backs of communist doctrines and steal from the the laboring people of the nation, steal from the people who are generating the jobs, who are the philanthropists, and things like that for her own personal gain and greed. So I'm fumbling a little bit here. I'm going to go ahead and end the video. Now, I wanted to say this at the beginning. This is Uncle Benny's Creepy Campfire Stories, and let me explain to you what that means. Obviously, I'm Uncle Benny. The campfire stories, well, who doesn't like a good campfire story, a creepy campfire story? So, or did I call it? Let me think for a second. Got to check something out here. It's a different account. Okay. I'm saying that. Okay. I should edit this out. So this is called Uncle Benny's Creepy Campfire Stories because it almost was going to be called Creepy Bedtime Stories, because it's not to get people to hear a story before they go to bed. It's creepy and it should keep you awake. And if you're not awake, you should wake up a little more, Okay, that's not very articulate, but that's what I'm trying to say is that, this is not to be entertainment, really, even though it might be funny sometimes. I'm doing this to help reach a couple people that maybe are still sleeping. You may be a liberal, you may be a conservative Christian, watch Fox News, go to church on Sunday. You know, you believe in low taxes and small government and everything, but you're still not awake. You're still not seeing what's really going on, and you're still not hip to the mind control that's all around us in every which way. The art of misdirection is a huge mind control technique. It's going on with this woman constantly, and it's coming from your people here. Your Tommy Lahren, your Ben Shapiro, your Michael Savage, your I don't even know if Neil Cavuto's still on. Your people on not just CNN or the other majors. We're talking about your conservative sources. You know, they are part of it. All right, that's enough for now. Have a good evening.